Bam. Hello, I'm recording. Yes.
Good. I am recording too. I'm also scratching my nose, but
that's always
I'll
worth doing,
I'll
I
be
feel.
ready soon.
Got to scratch your nose to get them hoes. I mean, I don't know. That's what they say, isn't it?
Wise words. Wise words.
Never
here
before
at Christmas
have I
time.
spoken more.
The How Uncivilized Life Day Special, starring Charlie Feasby as Luke Eyeliner, Spencer Lawrence as Hand Me a Solo, introducing Chewbacca's family, his lack of culinary skills wife, Mala, his pervy father, Scratch That Itchy, and his son, Screaming Tiny Tim, with special guest stars, analysis, and humor. The How Uncivilized Life Day Special, sponsored by Sienna Fleet Systems. Sienna Fleet Systems. Good luck getting there any other way. The How Uncivilized Life Day Special is also brought to you by Death Sticks. Death Sticks. Buy them when you don't want to rethink your life.
But yes, indeed, on these Christmassy times.
On this Christmas night.
Indeed. Life Day is
Life Day.
in flight.
Yes. It's not Christmas, it's Life Day.
It is indeed.
You need to remember that from now on. Life Day.
Indeed.
Happy Life Day, everyone.
Indeed, happy Life
Hello
Day.
there, and happy Life Day.
And a spacey new... What do they go by? Parsec?
And a spacey new ABY.
ABY. And a spacey new ABY.
And a spacey new ABY.
Oh. Anyway, welcome to the special of...
the Life Day special.
Indeed. Apologies. Beat that one out. It's the Life Day special.
Did you say beat that one out?
Just beat it. Beat it.
Beat it out.
Beat it out. Like an egg.
Yes.
Create
We've
the omelette
gathered
of
all
knowledge.
of our Life Day cheer into a bag and called it the How Uncivilized Life Day special.
Indeed, a special full of Life Day warmth and spirit.
Yes.
Amongst all. And above all, family.
Family. The key word today is family.
And hair.
Note it down in your How Uncivilized journals. The key word is family. Spencer? You got me. You got me. It was a Life Day trick.
It was a Life Day
go.
joke.
There was I thinking that you'd gone. Oh man, I've been duped.
I got you. We've got
man.
no Life Day turkey.
No Life Day turkey.
You what?
That's really the message we want to spread is, tricks on Life Day and no turkey.
No turkey, indeed. I mean, moreover, it's what do Wookiees eat? Indeed, ribs.
What
was it?
do Wookiees eat?
Indeed, what do Wookiees eat?
I don't
Each
know,
other?
but you need to beat it and then beat it and then stir it and then whip it.
Yes, and then and then whip it and then stir it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was
I think that brings us nicely onto the topic in hand today.
indeed.
We're moving on from Rogue One ever so briefly. Don't worry, we'll get back to it. But Spencer, what are we looking at today?
Well, today, Charlie, indeed, we are looking at the Star Wars Holiday Special.
My goodness.
I know.
My goodness, indeed.
Would you believe that the Star Wars Holiday Special released a year after the first movie, originally titled
Yes.
Star Wars, but after the fact retitled Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope.
Yes.
Yes, we will be looking at this. And did you know, Charlie, that this is the second feature-length Star Wars-style bit of on-screen activity? Did you know that, Charlie?
I did not know that, but now you mention it, I believe it to be true.
Indeed, it is feature-length. So if you're ever at a loss as to how to fill 2 hours of your day, fear not.
Yes.
For you too can indulge in a life day extraordinaire.
I too, when I sat down to watch the Star Wars holiday special, which I'd never seen before, I saw the running time and thought to myself, thank goodness this is almost 2 hours long. I was there expecting it was going to be half an hour, maybe an hour, but no, there is almost 2 hours of quality content.
It is indeed quality content. I mean, from start to finish, you've just got to think. I mean, there are greats out there from Spielberg all the way to J.J. Abrams and everything in between. And you've just got to say that is just of a pedigree that we just haven't seen before.
I was surprised that I do not have this film in my collection. In fact, I think it's so popular, it's very difficult to find it on DVD or Blu-ray because all the copies have just been snatched up. So It seems like no one has them. I had to resort, I have to admit, I had to resort to watching a version on YouTube. You know, I'm not really that kind of person, but
I can't believe you.
For the sake of this podcast, because the thing is, Disney are really struggling right now and they would really need the DVD sales. And I do feel bad that instead of watching it on DVD and giving Disney some money, which they sorely need, I did watch it on YouTube that, you know, they will probably see nothing from.
And that is incredibly sad, given that this piece of work created in all its beauty, it's just such a shame that we can't really, you know, give the makers of this film any kind of credit or royalty or any kind of...
Yes.
I mean, life worth living. I mean, they'll need the money, especially this Life Day. I feel like everyone is in need of support this Life Day. So just reach out to your local star system and just give a couple of credits and really help out your fellow Wookiee.
Yes. In a year like this one, which has been difficult for many people, there is nothing like the joy, the celebration, the quality, the goodness and wholesomeness that you can find within the Star Wars holiday special. And I mean, spoiler alert, I'm giving this film 5 out of 5. You know, this is up there with Empire Strikes Back. In fact, I think this film surpasses Empire Strikes Back in every aspect.
I actually think in terms of its plot content and in terms of, as you say, it's just general wholesomeness, I think it completely just extinguishes Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, just from history. It completely replaces it in my eyes. It really strikes a real chord, you know, a real warmthy tone. You know, every single tone has an underlayer of cinnamon. And it really you can really taste it. You can taste that cinnamon.
Yes. I'll admit I was somewhat concerned when I first put it on and realized we were going to be spending so much time with Chewie's family, especially his younger son called Lumpy. And I was worried that, you know, Star Wars is notorious for characters played by children to be somewhat annoying. So I was kind of a bit concerned. But not only was he not annoying, he was one of the most compelling characters in the film, I found. And I was with him from start to finish throughout his entire arc.
I mean, you have to say, as child actors go, that one really did top the charts for me. I mean, you could tell by his... just the... what's the word I'm looking for? Intonation. I think that's it. I think that's what really sold me, the intonation. I mean, the way the words were spun from his beautiful web.
Absolutely. I mean, you tend to find with child actors that they're just saying the words. They're reading them off paper. But no, this actor who played Lumpy, he was delivering his lines, and I believed every word he growled.
Oh, as did I. Did I. Nothing could just be more, as you say, compelling. And to be honest... when you first see the family in that first opening scene, what you think is a sorrowful family, but a family full of love and joy. And I feel like being able to encapsulate all of those emotions in one was just an incredible. I mean, you've just got to give a round of applause to the cast.
Yes.
I mean, you could tell
absolutely.
that they really had an absolute just smashing cast. They could pick from whoever they desired in the acting world, and boy did it pay off.
And I was astounded when I finished watching this film. I went on the internet to see what other people were saying about it, and I was shocked to see that this film is not nearly as well received as I thought it would be. I thought people would love this film, but if anything, people seem to ignore it entirely.
Do you know what? I was completely taken aback when I saw those comments. I just couldn't believe it. I mean, my eyes were being deceived in that very moment. That's all I could think. Because the content I had in front of me and the comments that I could see after the fact just completely discombobulated me. I just couldn't believe it. It completely took me aback.
I know. I was astounded at some of the things people said about this film. And it's the epitome of watching a film and people just not getting it, not getting what it was about. And I've never seen a clearer example of that than with the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh, most certainly. Most certainly.
Yeah.
I just feel that I feel like the plot itself, the way they were able to drive the story through Chewie, not being able to come home for Life Day. We've got Han there with him, or Han if you're so inclined. And you know, I mean, the way that they involved the main plot points, you know, Star Destroyers we had in there. We had a TV chef. I mean, we had dancing circus freaks. I mean, there's everything you want out of a film.
We had Jefferson Starship. That was something I wasn't expecting in my Star Wars film, but it's one of those things that I wasn't expecting it, but then I didn't realize how much I needed it. Like, you take Jefferson Starship out of the Star Wars Holiday Special, and I feel you just have a massive hole in the film.
You do. I mean, it would be missing.
Everything is essential in it. Everything you see on screen is there for a reason, and without it, I think the film would suffer.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, from what you see, I mean, it's clear that the film would absolutely suffer, you know, without those essentials.
Absolutely. It's got everything we want of a Star Wars movie, but also takes it to places and peoples who I've never seen before portrayed in Star Wars.
Indeed.
And it held true to the core message of what Star Wars is, and yet was able to develop it in a way that I was just astounded with.
I mean, let us not forget, this feature-length film was the first time that we saw the bounty hunter himself, Boba Fett, on the big screen.
What an appearance that was. What an astounding...
Indeed.
Just to see him for the first time on screen, it was quite a humbling experience. I mean, I'm kind of getting emotional about it. This character who you've known since childhood and seeing where it all began.
Indeed.
It was just such a great moment for me.
Indeed, and from one life day to the next, you can really feel the character development brought to the role when they're all working together. I mean, the chemistry there in that cartoonized version of a story of Chewbacca's glorious life, might I add, was just humbling. I mean, it was utterly humbling.
Yes, and the animation as well, I thought was incredible. It was so stylized. It was so well done. It was able to capture the look of Star Wars
Indeed.
Perfectly, but then render it in a way which felt new and fresh. And I was particularly impressed by like the dinosaurs and stuff. They were so well conceptualized, and it was just amazing to watch on screen.
I mean, personally, I thought that, you know, Disney bought LucasArts in 2012, but I mean, clearly by this beautifully designed piece of cartoon work, it is clear that Disney must have had a hand in creating this beautiful piece.
Absolutely. I mean, they must have definitely taken influence from it at least, because when you think about this film, it came before, you know, the new Disney Renaissance. It was before The Little Mermaid. And I almost think that maybe Disney were inspired by this animation to realize the potential which animation had and were able to give their new renaissance, a beginning.
I mean, you've just got to think about the earlier Disney films, those cartoonized versions. And you've just got to think, surely they definitely took a leaf out of this cartoon's book. I mean, you look at Beauty and the Beast, you look at Aladdin, you look at all the various cartoonized... you look at The Lion King 1, The Lion King 2, The Lion King 1.5. I mean, these films are just utterly amazing. And you've got to say that the credit is down to this cartoon.
Yes. I think, animation as a genre was dying, and this film really brought it back. Without this film, I don't think we would see any animation at all today. It was down to this film that it brought back such a beloved genre. Well, beloved now.
Indeed.
Before that point, who knew what animation was?
I mean, you've got to give George Lucas just an absolute applause. I mean, give him a pat on the back. This guy has done more than we ever could give him credit for.
I know, and he's so humble that he himself has, specified on occasions all the other people who worked on this instead of him. And it's really gratifying to see, all these directors who kind of assume the helm of a film and take full responsibility for it. Whereas George Lucas, he delegated all these jobs to different people, trusted in them, but also his vision for the film was able to shine through. And here's an interesting fact for you. I don't know if you noticed, but George Lucas's name does not appear in the credits at all. That's how much he had faith in the other people around him.
Wow, that guy is just a people manager. I mean, you can
Yes.
tell he is where he needs to be. He's able to guide
Absolutely.
people in the direction that they need. The creative vision donated from his pure brain, given to these children of his story, encapsulates not only the mood, but the power of the man.
Yes. Now I want to get onto now. I've written a whole essay about this, which I'd like to share with you now, Spencer.
Oh, Charlie.
And it's kind of going into detail about why I think people missed the point of this film. Like, let's not face it, this film gets a bad rep by some, unjustly, in my opinion.
Oh, I would wholeheartedly concur.
But I believe with this essay, I can prove to everyone out there that this film is worth watching, and it's really worth every second you sit there and watch it. Like, I've watched it 5 times already since I started watching it for this project alone, and I'm just ashamed of myself for not having seen it sooner.
Forsooth, my good man.
Okay, so this piece, a special for the How Uncivilized... Oh, Life Day. Oh, played myself there. Oh dear. Oh,
Well,
dear.
I'm actually very insulted. We'll beep that one out too. It's very insulting.
Oh, yes.
There are Wookiees listening, Charlie.
I'll beep out every moment of the word.
Oh, you said it again.
Oh, damn it. Sorry.
You absolute nerve herder.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's really bad. It's okay.
I'm
it's
I'm
fine.
actually disgusted by you.
Oh,
Like, there are little
I'm so
children
sorry. Life
Wookiees
Day.
listening as well.
Life Day.
It's a life
There
day.
are little child Wookiees watching, and I've just spoilt it for them. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, there are absolutely thousands of Wook kids listening.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nicely
Thank
done.
you. Thank you. Hang on. Thank you very much.
Nicely. So anyway, this is a little story called The Bastards That Ruined Star Wars. Before watching it, in preparation for this episode, I had never seen the Star Wars Holiday Special. I had heard tell, however, of a film so bad that pretty much everyone associated with it has since distanced themselves. A pointless cash grab of a variety show riding on the sudden success of A New Hope that became an insult to anyone watching, most of all, those dedicated to the Star Wars films. I had therefore prepared myself for a spectacle of horrors that I was sure to loathe entirely. But like most gifts... like most Life Day gifts,
Boo.
this came packaged
Boo.
with a surprise in store. I'm so sorry. I will beep it out.
You're damn straight you will. Merry
No,
Life
honestly,
Day, all
Merry
you
Life Day.
Wookiees. And
What a fucking mess. So, not only was the film, in fact, good, It was actually a lost masterpiece that was way ahead of its time and has since been hushed up by the very creators that we trusted to keep Star Wars on its true path. Astounded by my discovery, I scoured the internet in search of like-minded people who saw the genius of the holiday special, but to my dismay, I found only hatred and scorn.
Shocking.
Not one person was able to see what I saw, and it made me wonder, were they even watching the same film as me? How far did this conspiracy go? Were people really that determined to ignore what was before their very eyes? It was at that point I knew my purpose, as if a life-day angel had descended and whispered in my ear what I must do. You shall be the messenger, it proclaimed. Go forth and spread the word. The Star Wars Holiday Special is good. It's good because it carries a theme that we have forgotten to this day. Hear me now as I declare to you justice for Wookiees.
Indeed, this deserves
Exactly.
applause. This deserves
Yes, thank
commendation. This deserves
you.
at least a fucking medal.
Absolutely. Too long have Wookiees been disregarded as a lesser species, referred to as walking carpets by princesses, kept as slaves on mining planets, and most importantly, left off the lists of pilots of iconic spacecraft in spite of them working and flying them for longer than any other owner in history.
God damn it, Ray.
Clearly, someone in the production of Star Wars Holiday Special agreed with me, because when the film is viewed through this lens of highlighting the torment of a much maligned species, the entire film no longer becomes a variety show, but everything clicks into place. To prove this to you, I guess we should start at the beginning.
A very good place to start.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, the Star Wars Holiday Special. We begin with Han and Chewie in the Millennium Falcon with a framing device. Chewie wants to get back to his family for Life Day. Right off the bat, we are told that Wookiees hold traditions and festivals that are similar to the ones we have, a signifier of higher intelligence among the species. Life Day in Star Wars is akin to celebrations such as, and I will beat this out, birthdays, and I'll probably beep out that one as well. Yeah, that's probably
disgusting.
bad too. I consider it a combination of the three, perhaps. These ties to tradition and community are not found in the animal kingdom, yet here they are presented as normal for Wookiees to have. This movie is saying a lot before the opening credits have even rolled. After the opening credits, we enter Chewie's family's treehouse. To call it a treehouse, however, does not do it justice, as it is a fully functioning modern-day, 70s, home, with electricity's home furnishings and an elaborate kitchen setup. These Wookiees are clearly doing very well for themselves. What else do we see? Well, inside the home is Marla, Chewie's wife. There she is caring for both her son Lumpy and Chewie's father Itchy. Itchy is old and needs a cane to walk with, yet instead of abandoning him like a cruel animal species might, he lives comfortably and is cared for, in spite of the fact that he clearly would be a drain on their incomes being unfit for work at his age. Marla looks after him nonetheless. Next, we see Lumpy playing with an X-Wing toy. He must have budding aspirations to be a pilot like his father. One of the most difficult and dangerous jobs out there, yet one Wookiees seem to be able to undertake with ease. Itchy can be seen tinkering with another X-Wing toy, implying that he made both of them. Wookiees are not just strategically minded, they must have a creative streak too. Marla is in the kitchen pottering about, no pun intended. We see her wearing an apron as she prepares food. What's that, an apron, you say? Yes, indeed. This Wookiee is one who cares about personal hygiene and keeping her hair free from any stray ingredients. Don't want to look messy on Life Day, after all. The next notable moment comes when Marla and Itchy look at a photo of Chewie that they have on a shelf. To my knowledge, this is the only time we see anyone have a photo of their loved ones in all of Star Wars.
Yeah, I was going to say, where are these cameras coming from? Where's the printer?
Exactly.
Because actually, with that in mind, the only time we see paper really is in episode 8 or 9?
Episode 8, when we see books for the first time.
I mean,
yes.
Does that make them more civilized?
Perhaps, Spencer. Perhaps.
Oh, Life Day. Oh.
Yes. Life Day. Whoops.
You'll burn in the fiery pits of hell.
I shall indeed. So, not only does Chewie's family care about him, they clearly care more than anyone else we have seen in the entire galaxy to actually have a photo of him. The photo ties nicely into my next point. As they have photos, that would imply that they have a love of the arts too.
Ooh.
And I am proved right no sooner than 2 minutes later when Lumpy sits down to watch a holographic ballet performance. It is intricate and acrobatic, and the young Wookiee applauds as he watches. Those not tapping into the key message of this film would likely be confused by this moment, finding it jarring and absurd. We who know, however, can see that it fits perfectly into the opening act, establishing Wookiees as highly intelligent species. Later, we see Luke Skywalker via video call, the hero of A New Hope. While he chats with Chewie's family, we see subtle filmic language at play. Luke is framed from a higher angle and the Wookiees from a lower. This implies that he is weaker than they are, and as if we need it spelling out for us, we then see that he and R2-D2 are failing to fix some kind of engine. The Wookiee ignores his playful ridicule of them, as they can clearly see that this man is a moron. It is also notable that at no point in this entire film will we see a Wookiee fail in a task, even something as challenging as the cooking show we see Marla watching. To us, it seems like complete nonsense, with the host's insistence of beat, stir, whip. I would frankly be quite lost if I were watching this myself, but Marla follows along happily. Clearly, I am no Wookiee when it comes to cooking.
Cooking? Did you just say? Oh man! I mean, boy, does she whip? She damn whip. She whips good.
Man, she stirs and then she can beat.
Indeed.
Triple threat.
Watch me whip.
Yes.
And watch me beat. Okay.
Okay. Next, I feel we must address the infamous VR softcore porn that Itchy watches. In the living room, no less. While this would be inexplicable to most, a clear perversion of Star Wars values that should be ashamed of itself, we who know the truth must trust in the filmmaker's decision and work out what they are trying to tell us. There could be several interpretations that could be seen, but I found myself focusing on the fact that Itchy's fantasy woman is in fact a woman. Wookiee pleasure and sexuality must therefore have evolved beyond procreation, something very rare in the animal kingdom, found only in ourselves and dolphins. As we can assume that a Wookiee and a human could not produce a child, this fantasy therefore represents pure pleasure for Itchy, free from animal instincts. Not only that, but his family just accept it. Wookiees are clearly very open about their sexuality, and there are no prejudices to be found here. You enjoy yourself, Itchy, I can imagine them saying. Go on and scratch that itch. For the sake of time, I'm going to skip over Leia being a complete bitch to Marla and move on to Jefferson's starship and the space Nazis. So, at this point, about 45 minutes in, the Empire have invaded their home, and in the midst of the search, one of the guards sits down to watch a music video on a device intended as a Life Day present for Marla. We've seen demonstrations of the Wookiee's love of the arts before, but this time we're viewing it through a human's lens, a space Nazi lens. And what do you know? He thoroughly enjoys it. Perhaps art can melt the heart of fascists after all. Next up is the animated short. Even I will admit it was awfully risky of Lumpy to watch a show about the rebellion whilst the Empire were literally searching his house, But it just goes to show how ballsy this scruffy, young-looking nerf herder is.
The guy's got balls. Goodness knows where they are amongst all that hair, but he's got them.
They've got those balls at the end of the film, those shiny balls.
That they do.
Yes. Yeah. So the main takeaway from this short is, of course, Boba Fett riding a dinosaur, but for our purposes, it is much simpler. Chewie saves the day. He's not affected by the weird sleepiness thing, and also knew Boba Fett was a bad egg immediately. Well done, Chewie. One could say you deserve some kind of reward for your actions, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, let's brush over that one real quick.
Yeah. Around the 1 hour mark, we get a restatement of the idea that Wookiees are able to follow instructions that we would find far too confusing. Even their young son can do it with no effort at all, as he builds his translator, aided by the worst instructional video ever. He goes on even further, using this device later in the film to send the Empire away. Ingenious plan, Lumpy. By this point in the film, I was certain that Wookiees are in fact of higher intelligence than we are. That means they are stronger, more adaptable, and smarter. Our superior in every way.
I completely agree. It's not just more hair underneath that hair.
No, it's more brains underneath that
Indeed.
hair. And hair.
And a hairy brain.
Yeah, a very, very hairy brain. So their superiority and our stupidity is put on full display with the Imperial Council's live broadcast. Here, the idiocy of lower species is on full display. A man with a volcano on his head fails to remember one of the rules of bars. The waiter/waitress is just being nice to you and doesn't fancy you. The band plays the same song over and over, and no one seems to notice. The entire establishment fails to follow last orders when called and has to be dragged out via song. The galaxy is filled with idiots, it seems, but the Wookiees are not among them. Then we're back in the room. The Empire leaves, Chewie and Han return, and a stormtrooper falls off the balcony. Idiot. We're given a sweet reunion between fellow Wookiees, and then it's off to the Life Tree for Life Day. Everyone puts on their finest red robes, everyone except the human characters. Take the hint, guys. And then Leia sings a song with the others looking on with dead eyes. You're kind of crashing a traditional Wookiee festival, Leia. Next, however, we get the crux of the film. What this has all been about. The reason why the filmmakers made every decision they did, and the moment that all of my crazy theories were at last confirmed. We get a shot of Chewie's handsome face, and then a sizzle reel of all of his achievements throughout A New Hope. Piloting the Millennium Falcon, winning at space chess, breaking Leia the bitch out of prison, destroying the Death Star with Luke and Han, and finally, him not receiving a medal for all of the above? Wait, what? After all he did for the rebellion, he didn't even get a medal? I can't believe it. The filmmakers couldn't believe it, and clearly, Chewie couldn't believe it either as we cut back to his displeased face, the eyes saying, "This is the shit I have to deal with all the time." For some reason, the entire Star Wars saga decided that it hates Wookiees, and everyone's dismissal of this movie as god-awful and, I quote here, worse than a kick in the dick, is further proof that everyone is on some galactic conspiracy against Wookiees. I just don't know why. The film ends on a somewhat bittersweet note. The Wookiees are sat around the dinner table, they hold hands and bow their heads, as if in search of higher judgment. That judgment is ours. We've been given a film demonstrating how amazing Wookiees are, and now it's time to pick a side. I, for one, am on the side of justice. Justice on this blessed life day. The question is, are you? And I don't just mean you, Spencer. That's like I was directing that at the audience.
Oh wow!
But also you as well.
I mean, I'm gonna think about it. But yeah, this is great. Oh wow! I mean, what an analysis! Really poignant.
Thank you.
It really tickled my heartstrings.
I poured my heart and soul into this. I really did. I was hoping people would appreciate it because I felt like it had an important message to say.
Wow!
And it needed to be said.
Could there be more important messages than that of family,
No.
of pride, of race.
Family on. I mean, you're going into Lion King again here, I think, but that's okay. It's kind of similar.
Of Pride Rock.
Pride Rock, yes.
Of Simba and Timon and Pump. Oh, wait, damn it. No, Itchy. Lumpy and Mala. Damn it.
If Simba couldn't accept Scar's nephew as his son, was he truly any better than Scar?
Indeed, said the vicar to the... All right. Woo. 'Cause-
Man, I think we can drop the facade now. That film was utter trash.
I mean, do you know what? Yeah, it was. But the thing for me about the film was that actually what I found was more interesting. I don't know, the weird stereotypes that were thrown in. Like, the thing that I actually was really, like, in all seriousness, was actually, like, taken in by was the chef. The TV chef. I was like...
It was compelling.
Do you know what? Like, whoever played the TV chef really gave it their all, and I've got to applaud them. Because
they fully committed to it. That's the same person who played the instruction manual person as well.
No way.
I think so. Huh. Yeah. Because he was like, I want to play multiple characters in
Allow
this.
me to be in all scenes.
Yes. And then you get B. Arthur as the bar lady on Tatooine.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I forget that there are a couple of cheeky, interesting people in there, like...
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we have the main cast. You got Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford,
we do.
Carrie Fisher. You get Anthony Daniels in there as well. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the brilliant Peter Mayhew as Chewie.
Absolutely.
And
a glimpse of Darth Vader in a reworked scene from A New Hope.
Yeah, we literally just see him for like 10 seconds. Literally, I was watching that. I was going, have they dubbed? Surely it looks, because the little lieutenant.
They did.
Yeah, they dubbed him, didn't they?
Exactly what they did.
Yeah, because I was there like that doesn't add up with how his mouth is moving.
The lieutenant was just like, we've walked down this corridor like before. We've had we've done this exact same thing. We just always talk about different things.
Yeah, they just reuse that scene in every film, I reckon. You could probably look it up. It's just a lieutenant and Darth Vader walking around.
Yeah.
And then they go find an admiral to strangle to death or something. It's usually the way.
Yeah. In Aaron Sorkin's Star Wars.
Oh, dear. Do you know what?
Walk and talk.
Well, indeed. Do you know what really took me in, though?
What was it? Which bit of this?
I mean, aside from the four-arm chef.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously.
I mean, when the arms kept coming, I was like,
whoa. I was like, are there going to be more arms? Hot diggity damn. Oh, no.
Yeah, what else compelled you?
Well, I mean, you've got to hand it to Harrison Ford. I mean, this guy obviously didn't know what he was signing up for. I mean, his scenes weren't reworked.
He is completely checked out of this film. You can see it in his eyes.
He is. I mean, you've got to give him some kind of award just for being there, at least. I mean, he is one of the only... I mean, I think it was only him... Was it him, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher that actually had to, do actual scenes for this shit. But I'd actually...
Well, there was Peter Mayhew and Anthony Daniels as well.
I know, but they're lost causes anyway. But what I'm saying...
And they get to hide behind a mask as well.
Well, to be fair, they are pretty hidden. But did you know, when this came out, Anthony Daniels was really young. But doesn't he sound...
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't he sound really, really old?
He does sound very young. I wonder if they've redubbed him for, later films. Or, later editions of A New Hope and stuff.
They might have done. Because, I mean...
Maybe.
I mean, I'm trying to think when he was... Because he must be what is he now, 70-something? But then was 40-odd years. He would have been 30-something.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about how old... Mark Hamill is now, back then he was literally early 20s, wasn't he? Carrie Fisher was 18.
Yeah. I mean, that is insane. That is honestly insane.
That is insane.
I mean,
whenever I see 18-year-olds now, in films, I'm always like, no, you are far too young.
Yeah, but then with her, she
get back to school.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Go back. Who cares about this whole pandemic? You just go to school. It's fine.
Yeah, go to school.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that gets me about this whole holiday special, It's the fact that they obviously spent a lot of time on it. And it's clear that like George Lucas had input, and it's clear that he wanted it to be something. But I actually feel like, because, I mean, he obviously had a steer on it. He wrote the story. But do you reckon if we saw the story for what it was, do you reckon it could have been done any better? Because I kind of feel like because he wasn't involved that much, or at least claims not to have been involved.
We know the truth.
We know, Georgie. We know what's going on there.
Just removing your name for everything doesn't mean you didn't do it.
No, but I mean, there's a quote here from, this is a quote from a guy called Leonard Rips. It says, I think he, George Lucas, wanted to make a sweet and sentimental vision of a holiday season, and I think it evolved into something more maudlin, which was not what I thought his vision was.
Brilliant.
So, I mean...
It's definitely... I think it's of its time. It's a variety show, so it is a bit off the wall. And it was this thing of no one really knew what Star Wars was going to become. It was just one film where they would literally be like, oh, we can do this like Christmas special thing. It'll be a bit of fun, but it's no big deal. Like, you know, there's a sequel coming out soon. Maybe it won't be as popular. Like, let's just... bank on it while we can.
Yeah.
And then suddenly Star Wars became the most popular thing ever.
And then they buried it.
Just the black sheep of the family.
They really buried it.
If in the story they buried the black sheep.
I mean, it's pretty simple to find, but then other than being on YouTube, it would be impossible to get your hands on this.
Oh, yeah.
If it wasn't on YouTube, or you know, if it wasn't for the internet, I just don't know how you just wouldn't be able to get it.
You would not. Like, I feel like it became forgotten about, but since the internet, people have been able to watch it, and it's kind of been reclaimed a bit as just a mess, but a fun mess.
Yeah. Also, intriguingly enough, they were preparing bantha loin.
Oh.
Which I find really, like, do they get that imported?
I don't know. I mean, did you notice Lumpy had a toy bantha?
Yeah, I did notice he had a toy bantha.
Yeah.
But, I mean, obviously banthas are, you know, they are, domestic to Tatooine. But the climate on Kashyyyk is completely different. There is no way they need that much fur.
You would definitely have to get it imported.
So, yeah, surely they're importing meats.
I mean... Probably.
Which makes me think about, like, how the hell does their whole free market system work? Is there a free market?
I don't know. I mean, their friend who comes along and gives them presents, he's a trader, so I guess he might have acquired it.
Yeah. Yeah, their friend. Was it me, or was he, like, incredibly touchy-feely?
He was.
I mean, too much.
Touchy.
Like, the way he was like, come on, Marla, come on, give daddy a kiss.
Did you notice how, like, creepy Luke Skywalker was in the video call where he was like, come on Marla, give me a smile.
Oh, so
and it's like,
jarring.
Whoa, what's going on?
That was so, like, it just had earthy undertones of sexism in it that I just found, like, a little bit creepy.
Yeah. It was just very 70s and yet also in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, like the 70s was.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's the Star Wars holiday special, everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I'd honestly consider giving it a watch if you're a fan, because actually it is worth at least one watch just to say that you've watched it and to engage in the content.
I do not regret watching this
No, and neither
film.
do I. I mean, I would never regret it. I just don't know how... I mean, I'd like to say it was worth watching... But it's not a masterpiece. It's a pile of steaming hot bantha turd. But
yes.
But I mean, yeah. Watch it.
If you watch it following my essay, viewing it in terms of Wookiee justice, you might be able to enjoy it.
I mean,
more,
there were actually a
maybe
lot
I'll upload the essay online.
I think you should
as a viewing guide for watching the Star Wars holiday special.
I'll be honest, it does actually, in all seriousness, give it some kind of meaning. In fact, you've drawn more like plot depth and actually character development than any of the other writers or even George Lucas could even have thought of, which is just crazy.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I've watched a lot of David Lynch, so I'm used to trying to find stuff when there is nothing there.
I'm sure that's what you tell all the ladies.
Oh, wow. Tell all the men more like.
Oh, hot diggity damn.
I don't know. Hot diggity damn. Tell all the Wookiees.
Oh, my word.
You know, it was the 70s. Everyone was hairy.
Indeed, it was the 70s, and everyone watched porn in their front room in the 70s, apparently.
Yes, VR porn, no less. That bit was the first time in the film when I was like, okay, this is actually bonkers.
I don't know why anyone would think that's a good idea. I mean, come on.
It's just hearing him grunt and with his weird gurn because his chin goes up to his nose.
I mean, but that's another thing though. The only two people that actually sound like Wookiees are Marla and Chewie. The other guys just sound fucking wrong.
Oh man.
The granddad just sounds fucking weird as anything.
Yeah.
And the other one, the small one, just sounds like he's gargling fucking toothpaste.
I know. Lumpy just has the worst voice. It's so annoying.
It's like the kind of thing where, if a dog like that came up to you and started making that sound, you'd kick it.
Yeah, you'd be like, please don't bite
you'd
me.
be like, what the fuck are you doing? What is it that you want? A bone? Because I'm not going to give you a bone. Anyway, so there's some pent up rage here.
There's a lot of pent up rage.
I mean, you just think about those Wookiees. I mean, they were just. Oh man, it was just depressing.
Man, it was.
What did they even end up eating? Because I swear, though you said oh yeah, Marla, look how well she cooks. I mean, it's clear that she does a shite job.
Oh yeah.
What does she serve up? Bantha loin?
I don't know. They barely serve up anything. I don't think.
I mean, and also
they don't even have a meal. They go straight to the life
I'd
tree.
also like to point out that in any universe, fucking beating the shit out of loin and then chopping it up is a waste of good loin.
That's a waste.
I mean, if you're going to have loin, you got to do it right. I mean, chopping it up and throwing it in fucking water. Also, I'm not being funny. That pan's got to be boiling hot, but she just picks it up and puts it in her mouth.
Yeah.
There is no concern for health and safety in that treehouse. No concern.
Absolutely not.
Absolute madness.
I mean, they let their kid just wander on the side of the balcony.
I mean, that would stress me out. If I had a kid,
Yeah.
the last thing I'd want was for them to hang around on the balcony.
Yeah, that thing literally breaks later in the
Yeah.
film. That's how precarious
That's
it
so
is.
right. I mean, do you know how high those trees go? They go pretty high.
Too high,
That
frankly.
kid is going to fly all the way down to the Shadowlands and then just get eaten by just a crazed, I don't know, monster or something down there. I mean, it's just insane. There are Shiraks down there. There are just evil little stupid monsters, these big dinosaur things.
I've been reading too much Game of Thrones related stuff. When you said Shadowlands, I was immediately like, wait, there's a shy?
Well, indeed. I mean, yeah.
Indeed.
I mean, maybe they stole that from Star Wars. Who knows?
Maybe, just maybe. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I actually think that that there is a lot to be said about the way in which the stereotypes in the film were handled. I felt like they were just a little bit everything was slightly jarring.
I mean, they turned Leia into a secretary, apparently.
Yeah, what the hell? I thought she was supposed to be a senator or something.
She was just there, typing. It's hello?
And remember, ladies, you must type and sew and whisk and beat. Yeah. Yeah, so... Yeah, I would actually recommend, and maybe we should put this at the beginning, Charlie, but recommend people watch it before they listen, because they might find it more informative.
Yeah. I'll recommend giving it a listen beforehand.
Definitely. Yeah. There's a lot more to take in. And as you say, you should definitely print off that, upload the beautiful monologue that you just did earlier. I feel like people would enjoy reading it. And I'd enjoy sharing it actually with people who are that way inclined.
It'll be the when people ask what have you done in 2020, I'll just show them that essay and be like, you're welcome.
I mean, what were you doing, Charlie? I mean, you could have easily have done that as a dissertation for university and probably got a better grade.
I missed a trick there, to
really
be honest.
did.
Instead I did it on music and gender and West Side Story.
Boo,
what's
bloody
important
who?
about that? Good grief. Gosh, what a waste of my talents of interpreting films in bonkers ways.
I mean, what's it doing for you now, really?
I mean, nothing really, to be honest.
Oh, God, that touched a nerve.
I was going to say maybe it taught me like recording skills, which I'm using for this podcast. But then again, I didn't do any recording modules at uni. Like this is all self-taught.
Yeah, same. I mean, that's 27 grand not spent well.
Yeah.
Looking back, it was a poor business decision on our part. I mean, we just splashed the cash.
Oh yeah. I should really have done some recording modules, I think.
I think I should have done some too. But,
well.
life can be your recording module.
Life has become my recording
Indeed.
module. It's all I do.
But we hope you have enjoyed this wonderful Life Day special based on the
Yes.
Star Wars holiday special.
Yes. This will be our last episode for the year, so we shall see you in 2021. We will be returning to our Rogue One series, but we'll also have new stuff coming along once we've finished that, and it's all very exciting, and frankly, I am looking forward to it.
I am so
looking forward
excited. Oh, bring on
this
2021.
year being over.
Bring on 2021.
Yes.
It is about time that 2020 was over and we can indulge in a newness only thought of by our past selves in perhaps 2019. Do you remember those days, carefree and, you could just go out and do whatever the hell you wanted? I mean, we really took those days for
I
granted.
didn't have in 2017.
I mean, I mean, you can think about every year. I mean, compared to this year, every other year is just an absolute belter.
Yes. I before we end, I'd like to extend a couple of thank yous out there. I'd like to thank you guys for listening. It's been really great to have people actually listen to our podcast.
Honestly, thank you.
Our meaningless, escapades about Star Wars. It's nice to hear that people are actually interested in them, and we've had some really lovely comments from people about the podcast, and we're both very grateful.
Yeah, we really are. Thank you so much for engaging with us and listening to every episode. We're so grateful. We love doing this, and knowing that there are people on the other end hearing our, subtle tones. I mean, there couldn't be anything more pleasurable, really.
And I personally would like to extend a big thank you to you, Spencer.
Oh, Charlie.
Yeah.
Oh,
This has been a rough year, to say the least.
it certainly has.
It's been a rough year for many of us. And, I just want to say thank you for being here. This podcast has been a lifesaver for me. And it's been great getting together with you to record some Star Wars nonsense.
Oh, well, there's nothing I'd rather do than be here with you talking about Star Wars, Charlie. It's been an absolute ball, and I thank you too for for sticking at it, putting up with all my nonsense. I'm sure you could listen to many episodes and you could tell that I'm off on one and Charlie's in a bit of a slump.
I've heard more of your voice this year than I have probably any other year.
I'd like to say, not many of you may know this, but Charlie actually does all the editing for the podcast. So he does all the editing.
Most of it.
Obviously, I am here as well, but Charlie puts in a real shift. He does all the editing. He does all the releases, and for that, I think we all have to say thank you, Charlie. It's just excellent.
Thank you very much. I'm getting all emotional.
Oh God!
Well,
just think of Life Day, and it'll all swell up.
Think of Life Day, and it'll all be over.
Lie back and think of Life Day. That's what they say.
Trousers down. Think of Life Day.
Indeed, quite.
Yes.
But yes, and indeed, here 2020, an absolute great year for podcasting, and here's to more fun in 2021.
Let's hope 2021 is also a podcasting gold mine. And let's hope to actually find some gold in that mine, shall we, next year?
Yeah,
hopefully.
I mean, we're most of it. We'll get there. We'll dig some out. We've got our little pickaxes.
We'll get there. So here's to 2021, and with that, the only thing left to say is goodbye there.
Indeed. Merry and goodbye there.
Oh, you were doing so
well. Oh, no. No. Life Day.
It's that special time again, and Chewie's coming home for Life Day. He hasn't brought any gifts, but don't worry, that's okay. He'll be here and now with you somehow, and all that's left to say, a merry Life Day, a very merry Life Day, a merry Life Day to you. Spencer's verse. Time to marinate the bantha. Come around so soon. Loin in preparation. We'll be light speeding round the moon. There'll be loads of rebel scum to hype the Life Day fun. The tree of life will make you swoon. A merry Life Day, a very merry Life Day, a merry Life Day to you. Spencer?
Yes, Charlie?
I'm worried about Chewie.
Why's that?
I don't think he'll make it back in time for Life Day.
Don't you worry about that now, Charlie. You know how Han and Chewbacca are. They could have stopped off somewhere, or been held up by an asteroid storm.
That's true.
Haven't missed a Life Day yet, and he won't miss this one either. Now, Chewie won't want to come home to a house of long faces. Come on, Charlie, let's see a little smile.
Well, okay.
There, that's better. He shall not miss
A day like this.
Yes, he'll be here today.
On this merry Life Day.
This very merry Life Day.
A merry, merry Life Day to you.
A merry Life Day.
A merry
Life Day to